Today I have something super special for you guys. This is a topic that I feel that it's so important, not only just for Christians, but this is important for everyone. Character. And you're going to hear me say this word 1 billion times today. Character. Can you guys say it with me? Character. Why do they call letters characters? Do you know why? Because an A is always an A. A B is always a B, even if it's 2 in the morning. It doesn't change. That's why we call them characters. You can never disagree with a principle. This one's a fun one. You can ignore it, you can choose to hate it, but you can't disagree with it. This is what I mean. You can jump off a building, right? And you'll surely die. Why? Because of gravity. You're violating the principle of gravity. So, character is the same way. Someone with character doesn't live for what is popular. That's one key thing. They live for their principles. But a lot of people, on the other hand, sacrifice their principles for popularity. And throughout this talk I'm going to have, there's going to be key things I want you to take away, definitions of character. And this is the first one. I know no one has their notepad and pencils, but just take a mental note. Character is that which is unchanging. Unchanging. So my question is to you, how often do you change? Who are you? Who are you today? Are you the same person all the time? Is this always you, arm around a chair? Is this always the person you are? And if you want to be an influential person, a lot of people want to be that. If you want to be a successful person, you must be someone who's consistent. Because consistency produces loyalty. And I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of people out there who are very inconsistent in their messaging. One day they could reply instantly like that. The other day they leave you undelivered for weeks. And it's like, okay, what's up? And low-key really annoys you because they have no consistency, no character. Second division of character. It is a commitment to a set of values that are uncompromised. Say values. What are values? It's kind of simple. It's what are the things that you value? Pretty easy, huh? If you value, let's say, if you value your marriage vows, you won't cheat on them. If you value that person, you won't hurt them. It's that simple. What are your values? Character, third definition, is a commitment to a set of standards without wavering. So, standards, we all know what that means. Sometimes you have to remind yourself of your standards, though. Sometimes we forget, sometimes we want things so bad, we kind of just forget our standards. This could be, an example of this could be someone in a diet, right? They have their standards, say, no, I need to stay consistent in this diet that I have. That's my standard. But man, we lack that consistency. Another standard. You can tell yourself, my standard is I don't lie. That's a simple standard that people have. Another standard is I don't steal. But a lot of people steal people's times. That's a fun one. And sometimes character can be something subtle. But there's no excuse for breaking your standards. If you think about it, there's no real excuse for breaking it. You have no character. Next definition of character. It is a self-imposed discipline for the sake of moral convictions. A person with character doesn't need the police. They police themselves. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that, but my question to you is, do you have character? And why is character so important? Because your future depends on your character. And I'm going to dive into this in a little bit, but your future, think about it, it depends on your character. So many people try to live off of their charisma, their talents, their gifts. They're so good at talking, they think their talking will get them out of everything. Your gifts won't protect you. The only thing that can protect you is your future. Protect your future is your character. Okay, next definition of character. It is a constant effort to integrate your words with your actions. Integrating your words and your actions as one. It's simple. When your words are what you do, that's a tough one because I could talk about this all day. I think the biggest issue in Christianity is hypocrisy. Is that right? And this is funny because it's not even a recent issue. This is an issue that Jesus fought against 2,000 years ago. That was his main thing that he fought against, hypocrisy. And it's still such a huge thing to this day. I don't know any bigger people group than Christians that are hypocrites. That's just what people think of Christians, judgy, they think they're so good, they're hypocrites. And oftentimes, it's just a stereotype, but oftentimes that's how we are because we have no character. Next definition of character, it's a sacrifice for your principles. Ooh, this one's tough. This one's real tough. Sometimes you need to be willing to sacrifice your friendships to protect your principles. Sometimes you need to be willing to sacrifice your relationships for your principles. But we do the opposite. We sacrifice our principles to please others. Have you guys ever done that? You sacrifice what you know to be right just to please someone. Man, I have like a million stories of doing this again and again at school with my friends. Knowing that, man, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be saying this. I should not be laughing this hard about this joke, about that person. But I'm doing it just to please them. And then it hits you right away. Like just an electric shock of clarity, of guilt, of regret. Like, dang, I shouldn't really have said that, huh? Ha ha ha, snap. Like you know it to be wrong, but you still do it just to please that person. And this happens so many times in relationships. It's happened so many times in relationships. We sacrifice our principles just to please others. It should be the other way around. Are you willing to let go of your best friend in order to protect your principles? My question for you is, do you have character? And I'm going to continue asking you this as we dive in deep into what character means. Who are you with right now that you shouldn't be? I know if I would have heard this message a few months back, I would have been very convicted. And I know some of us right here in this room might be feeling that same conviction. Who are you with right now that you shouldn't be? What are you doing right now in private, in secret? Are you willing to sacrifice that to protect your principles? What are you willing to cut off in order to protect your principles? Next definition of character. Character is integrity. Have you guys heard the word integrity before? Yeah? It's kind of like a little inside joke in my household. Long story, I'm not going to share it, but integrity. Character is integrity. Everyone say integrity. Nice. What does that sound like? Integrate. Integrity, integrate. So the way I want to put it is integrity is when you integrate yourself, everything you do and say into one. And I heard this from someone that in the Hebrew Bible, I don't know how true this is, I didn't fact check, whatever, but it's like a nice way to think about it. Someone said in the Hebrew Bible, the word holiness, the root of it is the word one. So the holiness in the Bible can be considered as integrity. And what do I mean by this? Sometimes we just live lives and we are more than just one person. We don't have integrity. You are a different person on Sunday than you are on Monday night at 2 a.m. When the Bible talks about being holy, it's saying be one and stop being a hypocrite. Oof, that's a heavy thing because, man, like I said, it's such a huge struggle in Christianity, hypocrisy. Wearing the cross on your neck doesn't mean you're holy. Getting a verse tatted on your shoulder doesn't mean you're holy. You can have all the titles of the world, and this is another big issue in Christianity. People love to give themselves titles, prophet, visionary, evangelist, even the word Christian. But none of that is impressive to me. Which one of those titles am I talking to right now? Who are you? Who truly are you? And this is a funny one for me because in a literal sense, I have to ask myself that same question every day whenever I introduce myself to people. Who am I? Am I Daniel? Sammy? Am I SamLovin? In my internet life, I'm SamLovin, the music artist, wannabe music artist. In my just day-to-day life, I'm Sammy, laid back, pretty chill. But in school, I'm this formally educated Daniel Rincon. And that's like my own personal struggle with my just names. But I'm really asking you this night, who are you? Who truly are you? And this is important just not only to ask yourself this question, but when you're hearing others, ask that question of them. Who are they? Don't be attracted to charisma. Seek out character. There are many influential people out there. They preach about holiness. They preach about sanctity in marriage. You hear it all the time. They're trying to help young couples get established in their healthy marriage, but they themselves have been married and remarried a million of times. How can they give a talk about marriage? Clearly it didn't work for them, so why am I going to listen to any of it? Right? Yeah, someone talking about success, they never had one success in their life. Throw everything out that they're saying, because if it ain't working for them, it's not going to work for me. That's why we need to judge people by their character, not by how intelligent they sound or how sweet their message is. Oh man, this is funny. Oh man, there's people I know. They try to talk so smart, and it's funny because I just think like, bro, that's not how you talk to me when we're messaging each other. You're trying to sound so intellectual right now just to please this person. But come on, bro, chill. That's not who you are. I know where you grew up. I know how you are. That's not who you are. You're just making that up. Shots fired, I know. Judge someone by their character, not by how sweet they sound or how smart they look. And I love this line from a Kanye West song. Shout out my boy Ye. I love that guy. But he said, I don't take advice from people less successful than me. Woo! That's a heavy one. At first glance, you might be like, okay, chill, Ye. Humble yourself. But that is so powerful. I don't take advice from people less successful than me. And let me break it down. Sometimes we look for college advice from my high school counselor, and no, I'm playing. I'm not going to go there, but sometimes some of you guys ask me for workout advice. I ain't got any advice to give you. I don't take advice from people less successful than me. Sometimes we ask for financial advice from the homie who never seems to have money. Sometimes we ask for dating advice from the guy who's always cheating on his girlfriends. Sometimes we ask for, things we need to look out for is character. I don't take advice from people less successful than me. I love that line. And the reality of that line is that there's only one person who we can truly count on for advice. There's only one person who conquered life and will never let us down. You know who that person is? It's Jesus. It's so simple. It's Jesus. And I love this passage in John 16:33. It says, it's one of my favorite verses. I have told you these things so that you may have peace. In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart. I have conquered the world. I can imagine Jesus when he said that. That was such a mic drop moment. But take heart, I conquer the world. Dang, that's powerful. He can help you overcome any and all financial trouble. He can help you overcome any and all health trouble. He can help you overcome any and all sinful trouble we find ourselves in. Can I get an amen? I don't take advice from people less successful than me. The only thing that Kanye was missing was for the next line to refer to Jesus as the only person he takes advice from. That would have been perfect. But now, pay close attention to what I'm about to say next. I want you to lead with your life. Your life is the weight of your words. We hear the phrase, action speaks louder than words. I love that. A lot of us try to impress others with our deep knowledge of words. But listen, man, you ain't got life. A guy selling Lamborghinis, driving a Prius, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. And that's some of us. The image we portray is so far from the truth of who we really are, and it's ridiculous. A guy selling Lambos, driving a Prius. And pay close attention to what I'm about to say next. This is a hard one to grasp. It's been hard for me to understand it, but there is no such thing as private life. That one's a hard one. You know, people say it's none of your business what I do in my private life. But it is, because it determines whether I trust what you say in public. That's called character. And the funny thing about character, a person with character doesn't even need to talk. They just show it. A person who holds on to their convictions even through the storm, never changing, that is character. A person like that, we can surely respect. How stable are you? Your words mean nothing. Character protects your words. Character holds the weight of your words. And something about God, his character, he is never changing. The Bible says that he's the same yesterday and today. How about you? Who are you? Are you really this person, all the time? Character. God is character. That's why we can trust him. He is stable. In Matthew 24:35, it says, heaven and earth will pass, but my words will never pass away. His promises are trustworthy because that is character. And I want you to really understand how important character is. I love this. You know, a lot of people have their favorite books in the Bible. Little by little, you know, I used to love the New Testament a lot, but little by little, I'm really finding a lot of value in Genesis. We think of it as just the creation story, but there's so much value in this. And let me read it. Genesis 1:26. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over, and it continues talking. God's image. His image is character. The first thing that God gave us is image, which means that character is more important than power. It said he gave us his image so that we can have dominion over all things. People want power. They want to be somebody. Everyone is striving to be somebody. But my question to you is, do you have enough character to contain that power? You know, that famous phrase, that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, I think it's not true. I think what's missing is the character. Power will reveal your true character. He's considered more, God is concerned more for your character than he is about anything else. It is the prerequisite for power, for dominion. God said, look, before I give you power, let me give you the most important thing, my image. And a really wise preacher wrote a book about character. In his book, he gives 3 things that test your character. And I'm only going to share the first 2 because the third one, I'll leave it out. The first thing is power. When you give a person power, their character shows up. It's funny because there's some YouTube videos about people, giving hefty amounts of money to poor homeless that they find on the street. It's like a common thing I've seen a couple times. Some of them, you see the true character, and they're like super grateful, and you see them going to the liquor store buying food, and they bring it to their like little neighborhood, and they give food for all their homies, and it's like, dang. It showed their true character. But then some of us, we get money, unemployment money, and the first thing we do is buy ourselves a couch. I'm sorry, that was what I did. But it shows our true character. That's the first thing. Second thing that tests our character, I think I got it mixed up. Power and money, those are the two things. I don't know if I should say the third thing. That one's a little heavy. Say it. The third thing that this person writes is the thing that tests our character is access to sexual pleasure. That's where character shows up. And for that third one, how faithful are you to God, your spouse? How faithful will you be to them when you're given access to that? So many people fail because they don't have character. See, character, as I was thinking about this, there are buildings, our old architecture, archaeologists carve them up and they discover them, that these monuments have been through storm after storm after storm, and they're still standing. How many storms can we endure? They remained standing through every temptation. Will you remain faithful to God in the next 10 days? Will you remain faithful to God in the next 10 years when you're an older fellow? How faithful are you to remain? How many storms can you take? This is such an interesting topic, temptation. In order to understand it, gives us power to face it. So let me break it down for you. Temptation will constantly be in your life to monitor your character. Is your character strong enough? Is it stronger than the temptation? Or are you constantly falling under the temptation because you have no character? That will determine everything. If your character is strong, if you sacrifice things for your values and your principles, then any temptation that comes your way, bro, you'll stand up under it like it's a joke. I got character. But sometimes we fall under it because we have no character at all. Do you know what made Eve sin? Do you know what it was? The temptation she was hit with? It wasn't really that difficult. It's actually kind of ironic. Satan said to her, "Do you want to be like God?" The biggest irony. You know why? Because literally, moments ago, God made them in whose image? In whose likeness? They were already like God. Satan will only tempt you of what you already are. Your greatest danger is self-ignorance. You cannot tempt someone with what they already are. You can't tempt me with what I already am. Eve became ignorant of who she was. She was already like God. But ignorance will make you disbelieve yourself. Sometimes Satan tempts us with power, with the easy way out, with all these things, and you don't even need them. If you truly understood who you were, you wouldn't need them. Character. Power reveals corruption. You were already defective before the power came. Character might be the only thing missing in your life in this moment. It quite possibly might be the only thing that's missing out of your life. And I want you to make it in life. Do you want to make it in life? That means that you need to make the decision before leaving this room that you will get rid of things that can destroy your character. I'm talking about friends. That includes habits. You are in danger. If you think you're safe, you are mistaken. You need to protect your character. You are as safe as your character. If you're afraid that I find out about your private life, there you go. You have no character. Lastly, I want to leave you with this. I know we all have visions for our lives. I want you to think about it. What it is that you vision for your life. Literally, just close your eyes and think about it. Samson had an awesome vision. God trusted this man. He was supposed to save the people of Israel. You guys know Samson's story? But his private life destroyed his public vision. Whenever you plan to do something and you hope no one finds out, you're in danger. So never do anything from this day forward that you want no one to find out about. That's character. Don't violate your principles. And the awesome thing about this is if you do right, you can enjoy your memories. Don't live a regretful life. There's an interesting quote from DMX in an interview where he said, if I were to die right now, I know I would have lived life. I would be happy with the way I live life. I don't know much about this guy, but can you say the same? Do your regrets overweigh the good memories you have? Let's leave this room with character. And I want you to pray with me right now. God, we look to you. You gave us your character. You gave us the likeness of yourself so that we could have dominion over all things, that we can have dominion over sin, over temptation, over unhappiness, over depression, over everything in our life that's holding us down. God, you gave us that. And God, we say no more. We leave it all behind and we say no more. You gave us the opportunity to walk this earth, and not for no reason. Not for no reason. I want you to give thanks to God. Say, God, I thank you because you chose me, because you loved me. I talked about success a couple weeks back. And one thing that I really liked was that God is on our side. He's on our side. He wants us to succeed in life. He wants you to succeed and fulfill the vision that you have. But we let ourselves down. So I want you to just close your eyes and ask God to take away every thought that's hindering you from being the successful man, woman. Every habit that's in your life. Think of all the things you regret and say, God, I'm letting them go. Think of all the chains that are holding you back and say, God, I'm cutting them off. Think of all the mistakes you've made along the years and all the lessons that you could have learned, but you're still doing the same old thing. Say, God, enough is enough. I want to live not a life of misery, not a life of regret, but a life that you can be happy in. I don't want to live a life to please people. I just want to please my Father. I just want to please you, God. And I want you to, in there where you are, just give thanks to God. In your words, say, thank you, Lord. Although I make the stupidest of mistakes, your love is greater. Although I faulted over and over again, your love is greater. God, forgive me of my hypocrisy. God, forgive me for all the times that I let people down, that I let myself down. And I want you to ask God to build in you character, to tear down the walls that you've built up. Stop being so comfortable with who you are. You need to have a firm foundation in the truth, in Jesus. And you will be like the monuments who remain standing, storm after storm after storm. Because character is bigger than any storm that could ever come your way. Because it's not your character, it's God's character that He's placed in you. All you gotta do is uncover it. Take off all the stuff that are hindering you from being like God. Don't let Satan tell the same lie that he told to Eve. You already are the person that you're trying to become. All you gotta do is unlock that. It's already been placed inside of you. Before you were even formed in your mother's womb, I already had a plan set before you. I already knew how great you would become. I knew the plans I had set before you. All you need to do is uncover it. When you understand that truth, you will find happiness. Life won't be such a burden on you anymore. Friendships, relationships won't be such a burden on you anymore because you already have it. You don't need to find other things to make you happy. You already have it. Satan can't tempt you with other things because you already have it. You don't need to be tempted to be satisfied in all these other things. You already have satisfaction in me, says God. Stop trying to find purpose. I've given you your purpose. We need to surrender ourselves and come to God and say, Lord, I am here. I'm here not just today, but I'm here to stay in your presence, Lord. Oh, how beautiful it is to be in your presence. Let's give praise to God. Clap your hands, give praise to God. Just last thing I want to leave you guys with. Don't let another day go by. Just don't let another day go by. Have real, active improvement in your life. Don't let another day go by. Who knows how long we'll live for? This is a blessing. The people we have around us is a blessing. We live in LA, it's a blessing. Literally, it's a blessing to be here. Let's make the most of it and let's do it right. Let's praise God.